Welcome back. Financial Issues. I'm Dan Celia. Hey, we're going to get to the phones. We want to stay with them. 866-300-9298. 866-300-9298. How about France? Boy, are they happy today. The government of France. The courts approved a 75% tax on millionaires. Those nasty, nasty millionaires. The nerve. We'll fix them. We're going to take 75% of their money. So there. Yep, that's what the nanny state, France, is going to do. And if, just in case you're wondering, Holland, if you're listening, it's only going to last about 3 months. So enjoy it. Because in about 3 months, there will be no millionaires living in France. They will all be in the UK or somewhere else in Europe. But they're not going to be in France. None of them in their right mind would stay in France. So enjoy your 75% tax on millionaires because it isn't going to last long. But you need to support all the people that you support in the nanny state. So have fun with that 75% tax. And you got to believe that we have people in our government that are just rubbing their hands together. Thinking, well, can we do that? Can we do that? Think about all we could spend if we could just tax all the millionaires 75%. We could just spend, there'd be no limit. All right. So anyway, that's what's, that happened. That just happened, by the way, that the courts, their highest court, constitutional court, which is kind of funny, approve that. I wouldn't be surprised 3 months. It might not last 3 days. I mean, there's probably millionaires that are trying to pack their bags and get out before the 1st. 866-300-9298 if you want to join the program. Let me go to Mike. Mike's calling us from Ohio. Hey, Mike.
Yes, sir. I went to my local federal credit union to inquire about opening a Roth IRA for my minor children.
Mm-hmm.
And they're telling me that they have to be 18 and have income. I was just wondering if you knew otherwise. I'll hang up and listen.
All right, thank you. So the Roth IRA provision in the Roth IRA is that you can use that your children can use that for school. They can use it to buy a home. There's some exemptions in the Roth IRA. And the last time I checked, and maybe the law has changed, but there are an awful lot of people that have Roth IRA accounts that they're in their kids' names. Now, maybe their kids have a part-time job somewhere, and they're able to do it, and their kids are over 16 or so. But didn't know there was an age limit. There wasn't an age limit on it because of the educational withdrawal that was able to do. So I would have to do a little research on it. And I'll certainly check to see if that has changed. Last year, a lot of the Roth IRA rules and the traditional IRA rules changed at the end of 2012. Maybe that was one of them, but I'm not aware of it if it has. 866-300-9298, 866-300-9298. If you want to queue your call up, we're going to get to the phones, 866-300-9298. I'd like to hear what you think about this France deal with 75% tax on millionaires. Is that coming to a country near you or a state or a city near you? I think it is. Could that possibly happen here in America? I think it's possible, but very unlikely. It looks like Hillary Clinton is making absolutely going to be making a bid for the White House. Right now, all the polls are saying that she's going to win if she runs by a pretty significant margin, put up against pretty much any Republican that is a possible running. That would be Paul Ryan, our new compromiser in Washington. It would be Chris Christie, Ted Cruz. There was a couple of other candidates that they had in there. I'm trying to remember for the poll. But it looks like that Hillary Clinton will win hands down. It is not likely that the Democrats will be able to maintain control of the Senate or the House of Representatives by 2016. I can't imagine, frankly, by 2016, that anybody's going to hold on to anything that's a Democrat that supported Obamacare. Now, let me just say this, because I had a very interesting letter. I got a letter yesterday, or Saturday, from my insurance company, Aetna. And you may remember, I told you I got a letter some time ago saying my rates were going up about 34% for this year. I just got a letter saying that they're dropping me, and they have signed me up. They have signed me up for Obamacare. They've put me on the rolls of Obamacare. Aetna just sent me that letter. Now, I haven't called them yet because I haven't had a chance. I had to get ready for the program, and of course, I got it on Saturday and wasn't able to call. But they have dropped me, and I'm officially, apparently, according to this letter, they have enrolled me into the Affordable Care Act. Now, I don't know how they enroll me into the Affordable Care Act. And I don't know how they can tell me that my 2014 rates have been increased 34%, send me a letter preparing me for that, and then tell me that I've been dropped overnight and been thrown into Affordable Care Act. And look at the timing of this. What is a person to do? Now, listen, I don't think for a minute I'm the only one getting this letter. This has to be going on all over the place. And what do you do when you've got like 2 days, working days, to try to get new insurance headed into January 1st? What do you do? So you just sit without insurance for a month until you can finally find somebody that's going to take you? But as of January 1st, I'm not going to have it. The only insurance I'm going to have, apparently, is through the Affordable Care Act. Now, you can bet your bottom dollar I'm not leaving it there. I'll just go to Samaritan's Ministries, probably. But nevertheless, I can't believe it. 866-300-9298. How many more of you got a letter like that? How many others got letters like that from Aetna? And what gives Aetna the authority to sign me up? This is Aetna Insurance. They have the authority. Obviously, they're turning over my personal information to the Affordable Care Act website or whatever. They're going to just turn all that over. Without my approval, without at least giving me an opportunity to say, no, I don't want to do that. And giving me 2 working days today, maybe a half a day on tomorrow. A day and a half working days to get it resolved. What do you think the odds of me getting this resolved in a day and a half are? What do you think the odds of the thousands, tens of thousands of people that got a letter just like it? What do you think the odds of them getting it resolved are? This is unbelievable. I don't know how you can increase my rates, tell me I got insurance for 2014 and my rate's going to be such and such an amount, which I calculated to be about 34% more, which I was willing to pay because I didn't have much choice, to now I'm on the Affordable Care Act? If you got Aetna stock, sell it. Aetna stock's not a stock I track, obviously. But I guess they are just so deeply embedded with this Obama administration that they are resorting to the same Gestapo-like tactics that the administration is. This is Aetna, a private insurance company. And when all these private insurance companies are out of business, which they will be under socialized medicine that we're headed to, I said this before, I'm not going to feel sorry for them. They deserve everything they're getting because they are just jumping into this thing. So I guess the president has made his appeal to Aetna and other insurance companies that, hey, we got to get people on their rolls. They're taking my personal information and putting it on the Obama website and putting it on Obamacare, I guess, as if I signed up for it so that I have insurance. January 1st. I'd love to, if you're a representative from Aetna, from this Gestapo-like insurance company right now, that there's good reason. This is the private sector that I've been defending for the last 10 years. Call me. I'd love to hear from you. Explain to me how this is not being done with a gun to your head from the administration, that you gladly do it anyway. Man. Laura from Texas. Hey, Laura.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you? Well, you seem a little irritated.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, I haven't had insurance for the past 10 years, and I still don't have insurance. What are they going to do to me? And what about all the people who don't have it? It seems like if everybody who didn't want to sign up for Obamacare wouldn't do it, there'd be a whole lot of people out there that they're going to do something to, which I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the problems, Laura. That's probably why they threw me on there. The problem is that there's a lot of you that aren't signing up for it, and it's killing all the actuarial calculations as to why this thing can work, and obviously proving that it's not going to work. So what they're going to do to you is they're going to fine you. When you do your taxes for 2014, sometime in 2015, when you do your taxes, you will be penalized. You're going to be fined for walking about the streets without health insurance. So now, of course, people are finding that the fine is a lot less expensive than having health insurance, so nobody really seems to care about it. A huge miscalculation by the administration, because the young people are saying, hey, whatever, I'll pay the fine.
Right.
And you may be in that same boat.
Okay, so is there any idea how much the fine would be?
Oh, yeah. Well, the fine is based on, the fine is, I had the numbers in front of me at one point. I don't have it right here in front of me now, but the fine's very minimal. It's probably going to be somewhere around, $600 to $800 a year, max, which,
okay.
it's not going to be a huge amount of money. So
right.
it's not like it's going to be thousands to incentivize people. Now, it probably will be by 2016, when they are desperately trying to get incentivize people to get on the rolls. But, they've hired all these IRS agents because the IRS is the one that is going to be the policing agent and the ones that are going to be in charge of getting these fines out of everybody. So that's the way it's going to go. So unless you get on to a medical sharing plan, like I guess I'm going to end up on, or which I don't really have any problem with that. I just don't like the tactics in which they're using. Or you'd go without anything. So
right.
Yep.
Okay. Thank
all
you.
right. All right, Laura. Thank you. Let me go to Jason in Arkansas. By the way, 866-300-9298. Hey, Jason.
Hello, Dan. I want to thank you for your show, and thank you for serving the Lord. You're a blessing to all of us
You're
out
welcome.
here in listening land.
Thank you.
I have a theory concerning what happened to you about your insurance dropping you and then automatically signing you up in Obamacare.
Okay, let's hear it.
I just heard this morning on mainstream news that sign-ups for Obamacare have surged during the month of December and are now at 1.1 million overall. And it just seems, after I heard you say that they just automatically signed you up for Obamacare, honestly, when I heard that statistic this morning, it surprised me because I don't see many people really wanting to be signed up in Obamacare.
Right.
And so now that I hear that this happened to you, I'm imagining that surge is really just a bunch of people getting forced onto Obamacare by their insurance companies and things doing, the companies doing those kind of things to them as well against their will. And I'll just take your comments off here. Thank you, Jason.
Yeah, you know what, Jason? I think your theory is right on the money. I think it's dead on the money. I think it's exactly what has happened. And, it's exactly what they've done to get people on the rolls. And that's why that number jumped. And as soon as I got the letter, I'm reading this letter, and once the shock wore off, and it took about 15 minutes. I think I read it about 5 times assuming that, no, I'm obviously misinterpreting this. And I gave it to my wife and let her read it. And she said, well, that's not even possible. They can't do that. Now, my wife works in the medical field. She's an RN, but she works in the administrative side, and she processes Medicare, Medicaid. Now, she will be Obamacare paperwork, because in the state of Pennsylvania, in the unit that she works on, an RN has to do that. And, so they can't do that because it would be such a violation of the Privacy Acts, because they can't do that without putting your information on the site. And I just said, I just can't believe it. And then I said, no wonder, the words out of my mouth were, no wonder there's been a surge in signups for Obamacare. There's not been a surge. There's been a bunch of poor slobs like me that have just gotten thrown onto the rolls of the Affordable Care Act, not against their will, because I didn't get a chance to voice my opinion that I was against this. It just happened. So 1 month, everything's good for me for 2014, according to Aetna, with the exception of the increase in cost. Everything's good. Now, I'm dropped 2 days, a day and a half, while I have a chance to try to do anything about it. It's insanity. I think your theory is right on the money. And that's why we're seeing a surge. 866-300-9298. You're listening to American Family Radio, Financial Issues. We're going to get back to the phones right after this.